Hey, did you see the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ceremony on HBO or HBO Max? The one that they just did where no bands performed and it was all just the inductions and great memories and all of that. Did you see that? Well, I've got some interesting information for you as we talk about Rock and Roll Hall of Fame right now. Hey everybody, Chris King here with Love Live Music on YouTube. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Not the induction ceremony they just showed on HBO. You can still watch it on HBO Max or wherever you stream your HBO. I don't know what you do with your life, man. Let's talk now about, do you know who is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Because they actually have over 200 members of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame at this point, as of today. What is today? I don't know. It's like day 5,000 of the year 2020. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame members. I want to talk to you about them, and I'm going to tell you all of them alphabetically, because that's how the list is set up right now. All right, let's begin. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. This is, I said 200. It's 338 inductees. That's a lot of people. I probably don't have that much to say about each of them, but I want you to know who all of the inductees are. So that way you've got something to shoot for if you're an artist, or you got something to bitch about if you have an opinion. I'm assuming you have an opinion. Number one, alphabetically, is ABBA. I don't have a problem with ABBA. They had a lot of hits. Number two, AC/DC. Next, Paul Ackerman. Don't know Paul Ackerman. The next on the list, Lou Adler. Lou Adler, that's Cisco Adler's dad. He's the guy that sits next to Jack Nicholson at the Lakers games. Lou Adler. I saw his name in some liner notes on a record the other day that I had no idea he was involved in. Can't remember what it was now. It was an early 70s album. Maybe it was a Fleetwood Mac album or Crosby, Stills and Nash album. Anyway, Lou Adler, Aerosmith, Alice Cooper, the Allman Brothers Band, the Animals, Louis Armstrong, Chet Atkins, Irving Azoff. He just got inducted, Irving. Joan Baez, Laverne Baker, Hank Ballard, The Band. Wait, is that the band with or without Robbie? Oh, okay. I guess it's the band, all of them. We're Levon fans around here. Barry Mann and Cynthia Whale or Vale? I'm not sure. They got the Ahmet Ertegun Award in 2010. Frank Barcelona, he's a legend. Dave Bartholomew, Ralph Bass, the Beach Boys, the Beatles, Jeff Beck, Bee Gees, Leadbelly, Benny Benjamin, Burt Burns, Chuck Berry, Bill Black, Black Sabbath, Chris Blackwell, Otis Blackwell, got the whole Blackwell family in there, Hal Blaine, Bobby Blue Bland, Mr. Bobby Blue Bland. You know what Bobby Blue Bland told me? This is a true story. You know what Bobby Blue Bland told me? I was walking onto his tour bus and I was going up to meet him. It was I guess before the show had begun, and he had his tour bus, and I went and I sat with him. This was for a show probably in 97, 98. I had chopped the rider for him. I produced the show. He said, "Hey, those apples that you got me, those little green apples, don't get anybody those little green apples." And in my mind, I'm thinking, you had green apples on your rider. And he's saying, nobody wants those little green apples. They're bad for you. Like bad for, I don't know, his poops. He had amazing rings, Bobby Blue Bland. Like bling, bling. Blondie, the Blue Caps, Bob Wills and the Texas Playboys, Bon Jovi, Booker T and the MGs, David Bowie, James Brown, Ruth Brown, Jackson Brown, Buffalo Springfield, Solomon Burke, James Burton, The Byrds. There you go. That's the A's and the B's. We're 1/13 of the way through the alphabet. Now we're to the C's. The Cars, Johnny Cash, Ray Charles, Cheap Trick, Leonard Chess, I'm guessing that's Chess Records, Chicago, Charlie Christian, Eric Clapton, Dick Clark, The Clash, Jimmy Cliff, The Coasters, Eddie Cochran, Leonard Cohen, Nat King Cole, The Comets, Sam Cooke, Floyd Kramer, Cream, Creedence Clearwater Revival, The Crickets, Crosby, Stills and Nash, The Cure, King Curtis, Bobby Darin, The Dave Clark Five, Clive Davis, Miles Davis, Deep Purple, Def Leppard, The Dells. Wow, The Dells. From Houston? Archie Bell and The Dells, Tighten Up. Depeche Mode. I mean, Depeche Mode just got in this year. It seems like, I don't know. There's a lot of people left out. There's questionables, whatever. Glad they made it. I feel like they deserve it, for sure. Neil Diamond, Bo Diddley, Dion, Dire Straits, Willie Dixon, Fats Domino, Tom Donahue, the Doobie Brothers, The Doors, Steve Douglas, Tom Dowd, The Drifters, Bob Dylan, the E Street Band, the Eagles, or just Eagles. It's actually just Eagles. If you're being proper, you would say, have you heard the new record by Eagles? Is that right? Is that really right? Have you gotten the new Eagles? Have you gotten the new Eagles album? That makes sense. Have you heard the new record by Eagles? Man, I love Hotel California by Eagles. I don't know. Earth, Wind and Fire, Dwayne Eddy, Ellie Greenwich and Jeff Barry, ELO, Elvis Costello and the Attractions, Brian Epstein, Ahmet Ertegun, Nishui Ertegun, the Everly Brothers, the Famous Flames, Leo Fender, the Flamingos, Fleetwood Mac, DJ Fontana, the Four Seasons, the Four Tops, Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers, Aretha Franklin, Alan Freed, the man that coined the term rock and roll, Mick Gabler, might be Gabler, I don't know, Peter Gabriel, definitely Gabriel, Marvin Gaye, David Geffen, Genesis, Jerry Goffin and Carole King, Gladys Knight and the Pips, Berry Gordy Jr., Bill Graham, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, well deserved, the Grateful Dead, Al Green, Green Day, Guns N' Roses, Woody Guthrie, Buddy Guy, and that brings us through the G's. Bill Haley, Hall & Oates, John Hammond, George Harrison, Isaac Hayes, Hart, Herb Alpert and Jerry Moss, Billie Holiday, Holland Dozier Holland, The Hollies, Buddy Holly, no relation between those two, Jack Holtzman, John Lee Hooker, Whitney Houston, Ike and Tina Turner, The Impressions, The Ink Spots, The Isley Brothers, Janet Jackson, Mahalia Jackson, Michael Jackson, Wanda Jackson, The Jackson 5, James Jamerson, Elmore James, Etta James, Jefferson Airplane, Jerry Lieber and Mike Stoller, Jimi Hendrix Experience, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, Billy Joel, Dr. John, Elton John, Little Willie John, Glenn Johns, Johnny Johnson, Robert Johnson, Quincy Jones, Janis Joplin, Louis Jordan, Journey, Kenny Gamble and Leon Huff, Albert King, B.B. King, Freddie King, The Kinks, Don Kirshner, Kiss, John Landau, How'd John Landau get in there? Led Zeppelin, Brenda Lee, John Lennon, Jerry Lee Lewis, Little Anthony and the Imperials, Professor Longhair, Darlene Love, Lovin' Spoonful, Leonard Skinner, Madonna, the Mamas and the Papas, Bob Marley, Martha Reeves and the Vandellas, George Martin, Cosimo Matassa, Curtis Mayfield, a gentleman named Paul McCartney, Clyde McPhatter, John Mellencamp, Metallica, The Midnighters, Steve Miller, The Miracles, Joni Mitchell, Bill Monroe, The Moody Blues, The Moonglows, Scotty Moore, Van Morrison, Jelly Roll Morton, NWA, Nine Inch Nails, Sid Nathan, Ricky Nelson, Randy Newman, Stevie Nicks, Nirvana, The Notorious B.I.G., Laura Nyro, Nyro? You say Nero, I say Nyro. The OJs, Andrew Loog Oldham, Spooner Oldham, excellent. Roy Orbison, the Orioles, Mo Austin, Johnny Otis, Earl Palmer, Parliament Funkadelic, Les Paul, the Paul Butterfield Blues Band, Pearl Jam, Carl Perkins, Sam Phillips, Wilson Pickett, Pink Floyd, Gene Pitney, the Platters, the Police, Doc Pomus, Elvis Presley, the Pretenders, Lloyd Price, Prince, Public Enemy, Queen, R.E.M., Radiohead, Ma Rainey, Bonnie Raitt, the Ramones. Actually, it says Ramones. I always thought it was the Ramones. Refer back to my argument about Eagles. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Otis Redding, Jimmy Reed, Lou Reed, Little Richard, Smokey Robinson, Jimmy Rogers, Nile Rodgers, the Rolling Stones, the Ronettes, Linda Ronstadt, Roxy Music, Run DMC, Art Rupa, Rush, Leon Russell, Sam and Dave, Santana, Pete Seeger, Bob Seger, Sex Pistols, Tupac Shakur, Del Shannon, the Shirelles, Mort Schumann, Paul Simon, Simon and Garfunkel, Nina Simone, Percy Sledge, Sly and the Family Stone, the Small Faces or Faces, Bessie Smith, Patti Smith, the Soul Stirrers, Phil Spector, Dusty Springfield, Bruce Springsteen, the Staples Singers, Ringo Starr, Steely Dan, Seymour Stan, sorry, Seymour Stein, many apologies, Seymour Stein, discovered Madonna and many others, Cat Stevens, Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble, Jim Stewart, Rod Stewart, Jesse Stone, The Stooges, Donna Summer, The Supremes. That wraps up the S's. We're reeling into the final stretch, and I got several in mind that I'm like, I have not said this name and this name and this name. Are they really not in the Rock Hall of Fame? T-Rex, Talking Heads, James Taylor, The Temptations, Arkansas's own Sister Rosetta Tharpe invented rock and roll, in my opinion. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Alain Toussaint, Traffic, Big Joe Turner, U2, Richie Valens, Van Halen, The Velvet Underground, The Ventures, Gene Vincent, Tom Waits, T-Bone Walker, Little Walter, Diana Washington, Muddy Waters, the guy that started the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, so of course he's got to put himself in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Jan Wenner. Or is it Jan Venner? I think it's Jan Wenner. Could be wrong. Jerry Wexler, The Who, Hank Williams, Jackie Wilson, Bill Withers, Howlin' Wolf, Bobby Womack, Stevie Wonder, Jim Yancey, the Yardbirds, Yes, Neil Young, Frank Zappa, the Zombies, and ZZ Top. So what do you think? Was that 336 names that I dropped that are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Maybe not. I think I left the Beastie Boys out. I think I was like, man, did I say David Bowie? But yeah, I said David Bowie. Is George Clinton himself? I know Parliament's in there, or Parliament Funkadelic, but is George Clinton not himself the atomic dog in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? That would be hard to believe, considering his career and his contributions to music. But all of these names, all of these people, they've generated so much stuff that we love. So many songs, so many albums, so much, hey, I'll make it 2020 for you. So much content they've created, these creators, and they're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. How do you feel about that? Do you think they all deserve to be there? Can you think of somebody that's not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that you would like to see in it? Because I don't have a vote, but we can talk about it down in the comments. And I sure do wish that you would subscribe to my channel and look at some of these other videos that are coming up on the screen, because those have a lot to do with things that we love: rock and roll, live music, all of these things. We can be friends.